Yeah, we got the thumb. That means we're live.
What's up, guys?
Welcome. It has been a while
It has.
since Conversation Corner, but a lot has happened
A lot has happened.
since the last time we had one. And so basically, we want to get back to the basics with you guys, and especially as this market shifts and changes, which is we're going through this correction phase now,
Yep.
which means there's going to be a lot more opportunities for buyers and a lot of good things coming up. So, if you're someone that's interested in buying a home, this is the one for you.
Yep.
This is the update for you. And what we want to do is kind of run you through kind of the process a little bit and then basically camp out on one of those things throughout that process, which is going to be the pre-approval process and what types of loans that you could possibly get. So, without further ado, I will run through real quick just a snapshot of what to expect, why you want to have a professional as you go through this stuff, because there's a lot of things throughout this list. So I'm going to run through real quick, and then I'm going to turn it over to Levi so he can talk about the lending side. But first things first, hopefully we have already met and you have chosen me as your realtor. So that would be step number one, is meeting for coffee, for lunch, whatever the case is. We get a plan in place, a time frame, and then we kind of start moving forward. And that's where Levi steps in at some point, because then he's going to move into the pre-approval process, answering any questions that you have on the lending side. And then from that, basically, we set up a search, and then we get you set up on all the houses that you want to go see and appointments, and then we write up on something. I get that contract over to Levi. He gets his team working on the whole processing, underwriting, lending side of things, and then lo and behold,
Loan and behold.
ooh, I like that. I like that. We go and close on the house, and so that's a really quick snapshot. Now what we want to do is we want to give you kind of a zoom in look at the pre-approval process and talk about some of the loans and things that are available for you guys as you move forward in the next 3 to 18 months. So if you're someone that's looking to buy a house between now and the next 18 months, this is specifically set for you. And I'm going to let Levi take over now and talk about what are your options as we start moving forward. So,
Yeah.
Levi,
Yeah.
take it away.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that. So once we get going in the pre-approval, we're going to look at different options that make the most sense based around whatever your financial goals are, right? There's a ton of different loan options out there. If you're a first-time home buyer, most of this info is probably going to be new to you. Even if you bought a house before in the past, there might be some new loan options out there that can fit your needs, whatever those might be, whether you're looking for different down payment options or focusing on interest rate terms and pricing, things like that. We can go through all that info together to make sure it's accomplishing what you want out of your house and that you're happy with the payment, down payment, and all of those terms, right? So that's something we're going to do through the pre-approval. We're going to identify what all these different options are and then hone in on the one that you think is going to make the most sense. That's how we'll structure the pre-approval letter, to make sure that Ryan has that info when he's out there looking for houses, so we know how to structure that offer that's going to make the most sense for you, right? From there, pending, you get offer acceptance. Pending you get offer acceptance, then we'll go to work on that specific loan program that you selected, start moving through the process of underwriting and collecting initial disclosures and doing things like that. We'll walk you through that as best we can to make that process as smooth as possible. There's a lot of documentation that's involved. Typical loan process, we're anywhere from 21, 30, 45 days, depending on what program you want and how, of course, you write your offer is how we'll structure those time frames. So beyond that, we'll move through each step of the process, keep you updated, try to make it as smooth as possible, and hopefully achieve a successful result with your offer and purchase and everything.
Yeah. So if I'm a first-time home buyer, and I am looking at possibly purchasing my first house, what do I have for options as far as what I can go do as far as down payment is concerned? Is there a specific amount that goes with each different types of loans? Like, what's that look like?
Yeah. So the answer to that is yes. There are a ton of different options available. Down payment types all the way from 0% all the way up to 20%. If that's what you want.
Did you guys hear that?
0% down.
0% down.
Mhm.
So there are options for 0% down, because I feel like I talk with a lot of people sometimes and they're like, I don't have enough money to put down.
Mhm.
You know, I've been renting for the last 5-6 years, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, how much are you paying for rent? Well, I'm paying like $1,200. I'm like, what? You're paying $1,200, and you could be in a house where your mortgage payment is maybe $900.
Yeah.
But they think somehow this myth or wherever this belief came from that I need 15 to 20% down to
Right.
put on a house, which isn't the case at all. Is what
Right.
you're saying, right?
That's right.
So
Absolutely.
So what's that look like?
So there's a lot of different options available. They range from 0% all the way up to 20%, as I mentioned. Depending on what your goals are is how we're going to select that. So if you don't want to put a lot of cash down, we'll look at whatever option is going to give you the least amount of cash, but maybe also the lowest payment or the lowest interest rate, depending on, again, your individual goals. I'd say some of the most common loans I do are, conventional loans, 3% down. I work with a lot of VA buyers, so 0% down there. FHA loans, we do a lot of FHA loans, so you have a minimum of 3.5% with an FHA loan. Conventional loans, which tend to be some of the more common loan types,
Yep.
they vary in down payments all the way from 3% is the minimum, all the way up to 20% or sometimes even more. So again, the major thing of honing that in is what are your goals, and that's where
Mhm.
Ryan and I are going to come in, meet with you, try to figure out what those goals are, and then give you all those options so that you can make the best informed decision for yourself.
So that should be good news to you if you're someone that's thinking about wanting to purchase a home.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I don't have to put 15% down.
Yeah.
Or 10% down. I can put as little as 0 or 3% down
Uh-huh.
and look at options.
Yeah.
Like, so if that's someone that you're watching this video and you're like, wait, what? I didn't even know this was available. It is, and that's where we'd love to sit down and grab coffee with you and talk about those different goals where you're at. So, I mean, I've got clients sometimes where they're like, well, all I have is $5,000 to put down, and I'm like, dude, that's plenty of money.
We'll find an option for
Yeah,
you.
exactly. So again, whatever it is, and then I've got clients that say I've got 20,000 to put down.
Yeah.
Great.
Mhm.
But for most people, let's be honest, we don't have 10,000 or more dollars that we're putting down as a first-time home buyer
Sure.
buying a home, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in most cases, you're not. Like,
Mhm.
now I understand if you're looking at investment properties or something like that, that's a little bit different where you do have to put 15-20% down,
Yep.
correct?
Yep, that's right.
But if you're going to be living there and it's going to be your first home or things like that, then you have those options of
Mhm.
that's plenty of money to have to put down if you want to go buy,
Mhm.
you know, $115,000, $120,000, $150,000 house.
Yeah.
Like that allows you to do that. So I think hopefully that will clear up some confusion there. And if there's more questions that you guys have, we'd love to hear them from you. We just wanted to kind of get back to the basics and talk about these things, because I think a lot of times we just get going and we assume that everybody knows this stuff.
Or they've seen our videos
Right.
in the past and maybe they haven't, so it's good
Yep.
for a refresh.
So Cassidy, do we have any questions?
We don't.
No
Okay.
questions.
That's okay.
That's funny. You can tell that we work together a lot. And we just wanted to put this video together for you guys. We think it'll be super helpful.
Yep.
And as you think about this correction and this market and this change that is happening and occurring now in our market, this is going to benefit you and a buyer moving forward. So if you guys have questions, you guys want to grab coffee, we'd be more than happy to do that with you.
Yeah.
And we look forward to hearing back from you guys.
Yeah.
So
Happy Friday.
Conversation Corner, done.